What's up with it, man? Polo Sports Talking ENT here again with another one. Be sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not a member. And also be sure to uh, hit the notification too so that you're able to get each and every one of my videos, okay? Listen, man, retaliation is rage. Rage is retaliation. Rage is retaliation. Retaliation is rage. They both go hand in hand. And when you have revenge, a revengeful like spirit, man, you're gonna do everything in your power, what's necessary to get retaliation. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, and there's no way around it, man. Now, I was speaking about the Dolph situation, okay, and I was talking about it yesterday, and I also talked about it this morning in Polo Motivation. If you were there. And this is another Polo motivation. Okay, I'm gonna start coming with them a lot more. Listen, man, retaliation and rage. Believe it or not, man, it's actually a good thing. And let me explain to you why. Because a lot of y'all are gonna get everything misconstrued. Uh, Probably gonna go run tell that and say, "Oh, well, Polo said retaliation and rage is good." Look, it is a good thing if you know how to use it constructively, but 9 times out of 10, the reason why a lot of guys and females too end up getting into the shit that they're in is because they use that retaliation, they use that revenge, they use that rage on to inflict it on something that or someone that really doesn't need to be inflicted upon, because what you're going to end up doing, it's going to be a harsh reality, because you're going to end up 9 times out of 10 you're going to end up either dead or in a jail cell somewhere. And then when you end up in the jail cell and you end up in prison, well, guess what? Then you're going to have to have that combative mindset when you go to prison, because not only are you going to have that combative mindset, when you're in there dealing with a daily battle, both from a mental standpoint, as well as guys that are coming in there, at you physically, where you're gonna have to defend yourself. But then you also gonna be combative in your mind, because you're gonna be beating yourself up and asking yourself, well, why did I make the decision that I made? And you're gonna just constantly beat yourself up. You might have kids that are in there. What's up? What are we talking about? What's up with it, Slinky? I'm talking about retaliation and I'm talking about rage. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Polo motivation. That's what I'm talking about. And listen, a lot of y'all don't know how to channel that type of negative energy that you have. Uh, you know, a lot of the stuff that goes on in the hood, you know, if we used it constructively, guess what? You'll be surprised what we can amount to. But see, all of this stuff that is shown, like the situation with Dolph, people get murdered. You know what I'm saying? Our people get murdered and stuff like that. Man, that's the driving force of the media. They love that. They love reporting on it. And listen, man, it's a lot. They keep egging that shit on, and they love it too. They want to have something to talk about. They want to talk about people retaliating on somebody else. See, now guess what? They back in the corner when something bad happens to somebody, or you affiliated with someone, or a particular group or something like that. You got your kinfolks, you got your people right there, and something happens to you. Well, guess what? They're gonna be in your corner. They're gonna be like, well, what you gonna do next? Are you gonna get back at him? And they're gonna put that in your head. They're gonna talk about you. They're gonna clown you. They're gonna laugh at you and everything. And then you're gonna constantly think about it. Let's say you got embarrassed. Let's say somebody just walked up and just punched you in your face or something like that. For no reason, and you got laid out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you got embarrassed. Well, guess what? In your mind, retaliation is a must. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get up, you you're gonna shake it off and everything. And let's say you didn't do anything, but people are constantly laughing at you. People are constantly talking about you. People are saying, okay, well, they said this. They were talking about you on social media. They were doing this. Well, you're gonna be even more fueled by rage and by hate and by disgust for that person that might have hit you or might have embarrassed you. And so you have no choice but to retaliate. But see, that energy that you have, what I'm telling you, it's a good energy to have, but it's only going to be a good energy if you take it out on something constructive. But a lot of y'all don't know how to do that because y'all don't know how to control your emotions. You know what I'm saying? A lot of see, that's why, like, when it comes to you getting with, like, a lot of guys, man, when they get with females and everything, uh, you know, they can't handle females. They know what pushes your buttons, right? And so they might have said something to you that absolutely irked your nerves, and that's because they know everything about you. They know what sets you off. They know what is gonna what buttons to push and everything. So then you're gonna think about it. It's gonna be in your mind. She probably said that, man, well, you suck at being in a relationship, or you suck at being in bed, or you suck as a father, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys can't handle that, and guess what they end up doing? They end up, putting their hands on a woman, or they end up, abusing. It ends up being, physical confrontation or whatever. When, in fact, what you should be doing is you're supposed to do everything that you can in terms of using that retaliation and that rage that you have, and using it to prove her wrong. That's what you want, because then that's gonna make her even more angry. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna make her, oh, okay. And that's what you're supposed to do. But a lot of us, we automatically ready to end that person. We automatically ready to, make sure that that person never walk again or never talk again. That's what everybody's all worried about, you know. But see, y'all don't want to talk about this. Y'all want to talk about somebody, because a lot of y'all have that have that retaliation and that rage, and that revenge. Y'all have that set in your mind. Listen, it's been a lot of times, man, when people, they'll constantly try to do everything that they can to make sure that I get angry, or they'll do anything that they can to push my button, or they'll do everything that I can just so that they can have some sort of conflict with them. A lot of guys get even more angry when you don't have conflict. What's up with it, Daddy Bean? I see you in the building. What classifies the OG? That's my question. What classifies the OG? You know, I'm under. I guess, like, now, like, if you're over 30, you gotta be an OG, man. But anyways, the thing about it is like, a lot of a lot of a lot of guys, a lot of females too, a lot of people in general, they get angry when you're not combative with them. If you people enjoy combative conversation. Believe it or not, there's some people that enjoy combative situations, combative conversations, and of course, combative nature of relationships. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that thrive off of that, and if you don't do it, they get so filled by rage that they want to retaliate. They want to do anything that they can to try to destroy your character. You know, they'll do everything that they can to try to make you look bad as a person or whatever. But see, you got to peep game. Look at this, man. You notice that a lot of the people that 9 times out of 10, the people that ended up going to prison, ended up going to jail. Some of these people were millionaires. Some of these guys, made a lot of money. Some of these guys had business. Uh, some of these guys were controlling a whole entire city just with what they were doing, right? And so, and the other guys that passed away, what I'm saying, that may have ultimately lost their life for being a victim of the streets or whatever. Some of these guys, they they were in control of a lot of things, right? But the one thing that they didn't have any control over was the universe. You don't have no say so over the universe. You do have a say so. It's the outpour of what you're doing. It's what you constantly putting out there and stuff. And some people, what they want to do is they wake up in the morning to retaliate. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a lot of guys that's living the street life or whatever. They wake up in the morning with that filled rage or that hate or that anger. Some guys, they got a guy or particular people as a target, and they wake up in the morning. Okay, yeah, I got to get this person. How can I set this person up? How can I how can I sabotage this person? How can I make this person look bad? That's what some people, they wake up in the morning to do that stuff, not realizing that that's all gonna come back on you. All that retaliation and that rage and stuff like that, it's gonna come back on you. It's just like with the situation that went on with Alpo, you know. God rest his soul, you know what I'm saying? And he ultimately lost his life. But when when you sitting there and you catching bodies and doing this and you bragging about it and stuff like that, it's all gonna come to an end. And the ending most likely is not gonna be that well. Now for Dolph, in that situation that took place or whatever, somebody wanted to retaliate. Somebody was fueled by rage by that situation, because they they had tried to get him multiple times. You know, this was something that a lot of people were not shocked about, but I think that they were shocked about, okay, in the manner that it might have taken place. That situation right there that just took place, all it's going to do is going to amplify. It's going to amplify more violence, man. It's going to amplify more people possibly getting hurt or more people possibly getting killed. When a situation like that, believe it or not, you create more problems than you are the solution. They feel like, okay, well, he's gone, and that's gonna be it, and there's not gonna be no pushback. Nah, sir, because somebody remembers that, a family member remembers that. There's a lot of people that were amongst him that were probably near and dear to him, they remember that. You know what I'm saying? So their retaliation, their whole mindset is retaliation. And there's not gonna be anything, it's gonna be a hard shell to crack in terms of trying to get to that person and tell that person, hey, look, don't do it. Especially, the young kings, if they anywhere from the age of like 13, maybe up until maybe 25 or something like that, 25, 30 years old, you're not going to be able to tell them guys, oh, not to retaliate or not to, take that rage out on somebody. That's just real talk. Everybody, everybody sits up here and they're talking about the situation. But let me ask you this. Can you honestly go out there in a situation like the Dolph situation or many other situations that have taken place similar to Dolph? Because the Dolph situation, that happens that's happening every day over here. They just don't, it's just not being put out there on the news like that. But can you go out to that area and be the solution? Can you go out to that area and be like, look, hey, let's all come together? Or are you just gonna be like, you know what, man, nah, it ain't my business? You have to ask yourself that. You have to ask yourself that question. Because me, myself, I'm willing to do it. Some guys don't want to even put their life on the line to do something like that. And I can understand why, because when when two groups are going at each other, when two people are going at each other, whatever, and it involves the streets and stuff, unless you got, I'm talking about checkmate power, unless you got, you know, the type of power to where it, you pretty much run everything. There's absolutely nothing that you can do between those two individuals because you can't control how them guys really feel. Them guys or the females really feel about each other, you know, because you got to think about what is happening beneath the surface. Everybody they look at the situation and they want to speculate and they want to automatically assume and they automatically want to say, okay, yeah, this happened or that took place. Yeah, I remember that this took place and everything like that. Just not realizing that, it could have been something completely different. You know, a lot of people lose their lives for just minding their own business. A lot of people lose their lives for just thinking that, okay, well, I'm going home, and they never make it home. But see, what you speak into existence, 9 times out of 10, it's going to take place. If your heart is filled with rage, man, channel that shit. If you want to retaliate, channel that shit. I'm telling you now, because it's not going to end well. And you like, oh man, I'm a soldier, man. I got to get my stripes. I got to do this. I got to do that. Man, go get your stripes somewhere else, because it's not going to pan out well. It might not happen to you, you know, in one day or something like that. But sooner or later, it's going to happen to you. The same thing, the same people that you retaliate and the same rage that you inflicted on. And sometimes it's not even about killing or anything like that. It could just be just a normal situation where you might have got embarrassed and you felt some type of way or whatever. Then you like, you know what? I got to embarrass them just like they embarrassed me. I got to sabotage them just like they sabotaged me and everything. You know, listen, turning the other cheek I'm not talking about a situation like that, because when somebody's corners you and somebody's trying to hurt you by every means necessary to defend yourself, that's a different situation. Your life is at risk. Any people don't realize, man, when you get into a fight or you get into a tussle, your life is at risk anyway because there's so many things that can take place when you fight somebody. But in this case, you know, we're talking about like a life or death situation. Some people don't handle embarrassment like the next man, and they become sensitive to that, especially when you talk about the power of a computer, man. The power of a computer. A computer is so powerful now. They some people make a computer and social media God, and the reason that is because it's used as a tool that controls so much power. You say one thing, guess what? It's going viral. You know, you done something, to somebody, guess what? It's going viral. You saying something personal to somebody, it's going viral. And I'm not an advocate for that for that bullshit. I'm really not. And I could care less who's with me and um who's not with me, and see, a lot of people, they want to they'll turn against you when 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 everybody else is going at you. Everybody else is throwing stones at you. That one person might have been with you, been in your corner and everything. But then guess what? Then they like, oh, you know what? Such and such said this about you. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna go over there. Look, you can't change that person's perception. You can't change that person's perception. You can't sit there and try to persuade them. Okay, well, I'm this way, I'm that way. So guess what? You can't do that. Your whole next goal is to do what? Retaliate. You angry because some people don't went. Uh, they chose to go to another side or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be cool with you. They used to be your camp. They was always coming through. They was always showing you love. Now they chose to go over there. They chose to go somewhere else with shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now you angry about that. Man, don't get angry about that. You know, that's why that's why you're supposed to get in the lab. You're supposed to get in the lab and get better. Whatever it is. You might be a rapper, you know. You might be a rapper. You might be a hip hop artist. And at one point everybody was jamming your music. Everybody was listening to you. Man, you had more streams. Uh, you know, people were sharing your stuff, pinning, reposting your stuff online and on social media and everything. And now you're not getting as many likes, you're not getting as many streams because there's somebody else that's um, doing it a lot better than you at that point in time or whatever. Well, guess what? You're going to try to find some way to retaliate. You're going to try to find some way to get revenge because you feel like, okay, that person is taking all of your shine and taking people from you and everything like that. You shouldn't be using that revenge or that retaliation or that rage towards anybody else. If anything, you should be using that and taking that energy out on whatever craft that you have. That's what that energy is for. You know what I'm saying? If it's a situation where they're putting your life at risk or they put you in harm's way, okay, I can understand that mode that you gotta ride. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, they get gangster with you, you gotta get gangster back. Yeah, that's understood. But when it comes to like a craft or you something as a hobby, something that you love, whether it's, like I just said about you being a hip hop artist, or you, you being a dancer or something like that, don't try to sabotage anybody or anything or try to hurt that person because you're not talking about change, you're going to end up trying to hurt yourself. There's people that do it all the time. They intentionally try to hurt a person just because that person's in the way, and everything's gonna take care of itself. But see, a lot of y'all weren't blessed with patience. A lot of y'all were not blessed with patience. Y'all are so worried and fueled by emotion that you have to hurry up and you have to retaliate. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, it's like retaliation is a must. The only time retaliation is a must, man, is if it concerns your family and it concerns your life, man. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it boils down to. Or, your wife, the person that you're with or something like that. They threaten it, your life, and that's when retaliation is a must. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people, they say that they don't mind going to war and everything like that, but they have a different energy when the war actually starts to come. And I'm not talking about no war of words. I'm talking about the real thing. You know, we should be we should be so much further than a lot of other cultures, but we're not because of senseless shit like this. Some people think some people feel that, you know, constant killing between our people, our kings and our queens is necessary. Some people really feel that way. They really feel that killings between us, between our community, is necessary. Some people even make excuses. They be like, well, yeah, I can understand why they got him, or they did this to her, or something like that, because they they deserved it. Some people feel like, and you shouldn't really feel that way. I like a reaction more of being like, you know what, I'm saddened by that situation, and we got to do better as a people. That should be that should be how you should react. But what do? We instigate it. We egg it on. There's a lot of people that are gonna be fake, and they're gonna pretend like I was just talking about yesterday in Polo motivation. They're gonna pretend. They're gonna act like they're on one side, but really they on another side, and really that they're gonna be like Dre from Power. They're gonna try to play both sides and try to be an actor, uh, and act like, okay, yeah, I'm this way, but then next thing you know, guess what? They all about themselves. They all about themselves, and they'll look out for themselves first. They'll sacrifice a life. They'll sacrifice friendship or relationships. there'll be a Dre. That, and for those of y'all that don't know who Dre is, he's a character from Power. If you ever go look at the show Power, go look at that character. His name is Dre, and he was one of the ones that was, he was trying to be. He was pretty much the mole. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to call him. He was a mole. But you got moles in every type of group. There might be two guys online that absolutely cannot stand each other. You know what I'm saying? They hate each other, to the point where, they want to see each other's demise or something. But meanwhile, you got groups of people that are with them. They might not have even spoken to each other, right? But in the meantime, you got other people that they're on one side and then they're on another, the other guys are on the other side, and those two people won't rock with each other. They don't want to rock with you because you rock with another person. And so now they've already associated you in a particular category. So everything that you say, they can't fathom past the point of you being, affiliated with somebody or being associated with somebody. They can't fathom that. They can't fathom with that. So all the hate is all the hate is there for you, and it's, you know I never understood why so many people get so angry off of well, a couple things, but these are two things. I never understood why guys get so angry when it comes to a female. When that female is probably, like, let's say two guys are fighting over her. She probably not only fucking the both of y'all, but she probably fucking like two or three other people. You know what I'm saying? And so y'all sitting up in there enraged and everything. Meanwhile, somebody else is messing with her. And it's the same thing with 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 two females fighting over a guy. He probably y'all probably, yeah, exactly. So y'all probably both, you know what I'm saying, giving it to her. I mean, y'all both they the females are probably both giving that dude the pussy and everything. And in the meantime, he's fucking some more pussy besides y'all two. And I just got to be real about that. I have to say that, pretty bluntly, because it does happen. But y'all are sitting there willing to kill each other and willing to fight each other and willing to go to bat for each other and put your lives on the line for a situation that is really controlled by all of y'all, and it's predicated on sex. But we don't seem to understand that. Now, this situation that just took place just recently or just yesterday, think about what's been going on and think about what's been transpiring. Think about the industry that we're talking about. When you talk about an industry that's about money, that's about females, that's about sex, that's about evil, that's about, killing each other, that's about drugs, destruction, poverty. You know what I'm saying? If that's your outpour and that's your outlook on life, well, guess what? Most likely that's gonna be your demise. 9 times out of 10. And I'm not trying to sit here and say that, I'm goody two shoe or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am telling you is that after a while you gotta know better. You have to exercise your common sense. And a lot of people don't do that. Common sense is gonna tell you, okay, hey, look, if I'm sitting here rapping about, hitters, and I'm telling people I got hitters and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Well, there's gonna be people that's really gonna try to test you to see what you about. You know, if you sitting up in here and you saying, you shaking your ass on IG, or you know what I'm saying, you bragging about all these guys in your DM and stuff like that. Oh yeah, well yeah, he was in my DM and stuff like that. Well, man, why you get mad if guys are coming at you like a thought or something like that? You can't be mad at that because that's what you got on Instagram. If you butt clapping on Instagram, on IG, if you shaking your ass on IG, you can't get mad at a nigga that's trying to get at you, or is trying to come at you in that way, because that's what you put out for. It's the same thing with you, waving that 12 gauge, you know what I'm saying, online and stuff like that. You can't get mad if that type of energy is coming to you, because that's what you wanted. That's what you claiming you this and you claiming you that and everything like that. But then when it comes to you, you can't be like, oh, okay, well, I'm ready to go to church now. You can't do that. But oh yeah, this is just my online life. This is just what I do online. Nah, you don't put it on. You don't put it out there now. Look, if you're a good guy, just be a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Raise your kids, raise your family. You know what I'm saying? Go to work. If you really about that life and you hardcore and everything like that, then hey, you're gonna have to uphold that reputation that you have. Because if you don't, then that can break you, and people can actually succumb to your demise because you sitting there glorifying something that a lot of dudes don't play with. You responsible for that energy that you're putting out there. It's either you want to be a stripper or you want to be a businesswoman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could do both. It's either you want to be, you want to be affiliated with the strip. I'm sorry about that, with the streets, or you want to just, be a productive guy in society. But you can't try to straddle the fence and do both, man. It's not gonna work. There's some guys that try to do it. Oh well, I thought he was running a business that was legit and everything like that. You got a barber shop, or you got a car detailing shop, or something like that. But meanwhile, you doing some stuff on the side, and they see that you got a business. They see it that it's successful. Man, people gonna want what you got. The envy and the jealousy is gonna be there. It's always gonna linger somewhere. Somewhere, it's that necessary evil around there. It's just hanging around, and they'll hang around up until they'll they'll hang around you up until they get what they want. But see, y'all want to try to, when everything gets all, oh man, the pressure starts mounting and stuff like that. No, you asked for this. That's the life. You can't get mad at nobody but yourself. There's guys that I talk to that are affiliated, with the streets or whatever, and they'll just tell me flat out, I just can't leave it alone. I just can't leave it alone and everything. It's something that I love. And they're willing, they're willing to put their life at risk. They're willing to put their livelihood at risk, and they're not gonna tell you this, but they're willing to put other people's lives at risk. They're not gonna admit that. They'd be like, oh no, I never. I never would do that. But 9 times out of 10, man, they don't care about you. They care about themselves. They care about their glory. You know what I'm saying? They care about their glory, and they care about their story. You know, but see, shoot, I want to live. I want to live to tell my story. You you should want to live to tell your story with your grandkids, man. You know, you should want to live to grow old with, if you don't have no grandkids, you know, to grow old with your significant other or something, or grow old and go travel or something like that. And there's some guys that, you know, I used to know the guy when I was coming up and stuff. They'll tell you straight up. If they see a lot, if they see potential in you, if they see talent in you, if they see that you have a gift that you possess that is unlike anybody else that they've seen around there, they'll do everything they can to try to protect you. And they'll be like, nah, you know what? Nah, man, go ahead and get up out of here and do something with your life, man. This this life ain't for you. You don't belong out here. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you that straight up if they really you know care about you like that. You know what I'm saying? And you should, a lot of people should have listened to that when they were younger. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that's been told that. And a lot of older cats or whatever, they're still doing what they do, still in that street life, doing what they love to do. A lot of them do got hearts, man, but they were somehow, some way, you know what I'm saying? They got into something where they feel like they in too deep, but they don't want to see a younger lion make the same mistakes that they've done. But I know on TV, it's this perception that, oh well, you know, they gotta follow in my footsteps and stuff like that. But it's really not like that all the time. It's really not like that all the time. Some of the hardcore, OGs, some of them guys that really be in them streets like that stuff. They don't want their kids following in their footsteps. Sure, what you think Dolph was doing? Dolph didn't want his daughter or his kid, his daughter or his son, to live the life that he did once did. He wanted them to not ever want for nothing, or not to have to resort to what he did, being in the streets or having to struggle like he once did. But see, there's a perception that, oh yeah, he's a rapper. He's still a part of this, and he's a part of that. So now a lot of them guys, that are on the scene, they gotta uphold that particular reputation. They gotta be into retaliation. They gotta do this and they gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just uncontrollable rage, just like with anything else. But you best believe, any rage that I got, any retaliation, anything like that, I don't really have. I don't, you know, I put to you like this. I put to you like this. If it's not concerning, my family or the people that I love, man, I could care less, what's being said about me, or what's being done to me. If my life ain't put at risk, I'm not worried about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna do something, far better, far more positive, and far more constructive. But a lot of guys, they don't have that type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? They want to throw people up under the bus. What's up with it, True the King? I see you in the building. That's what they want to do, you know. And Chevy boy, I'm gonna just let you know. Hey, bro. Uh, when I'm late, hey, just realize I got a lot of stuff on my plate, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know, I wish I was blessed to stay up in front of the computer, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. But unfortunately, I have a lot of things on my plate outside of here. So if I'm a little late, man, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that. And y'all got to understand that. I got other obligations and responsibilities. So I just thought I'd tell you that. Not that I need to explain anything to y'all, but if I'm a couple minutes late or something like that, look, I'm gonna get there. Yeah, but listen. There's no need to egg anything on, but the thing about it is like I'm not gonna sit here and and be like, okay, yeah, you late. If you have a channel or you have something, I understand why you late. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, and I know you probably just fucking around, but you know, got a lot of stuff going. You know what I'm saying? So I thought I'd let you know that. But there are people that get up, they'll get on my platform, and they'll be like, oh yeah, well, you don't do this with your channel, and you don't do that with your channel. Hey, if you don't like the way that I do things, if if I'm not doing things up to your expectations or something like that, you're free to go. But there's people that are really do that, and they'll try to sit there and drag your name through the mud, and I won't stand for that. If I go to True the King channel, I'm not gonna sit there and drag your name through the mud. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna talk to you or on the panel face to face, person to person. But I mean, it's all good. I'm just letting you know. Got a lot of things going. Right. Besides that, man, it ain't nothing personal, man. It's all like this video, share, subscribe, hit the notification, and tell it it's Polo Sports.